Hello dear students, today let's learn 15 new idioms. Everything but the kitchen sink.
There's everything in here but the kitchen sink.
Here, they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at...
We're putting everything but the kitchen sink into the impulse power, sir.
Almost everything and anything has been included. When Jenny packed for her camping trip, she brought everything but the kitchen sink, including a portable stove, inflatable mattresses, and even a mini espresso maker. Excuse my French.
Excuse my French.
Excuse my French!
Excuse my French?
Please forgive me for cursing. After accidentally knocking over the stack of papers, Mark muttered a string of profanities under his breath, then quickly added, "Excuse my French," with a grin. Feeding frenzy.
Whoa! Feeding frenzy! Let the feeding frenzy begin!
It's a feeding frenzy, sir!
An aggressive attack on someone by a group. As soon as the announcement for free samples went out, shoppers descended upon the food court in a feeding frenzy, grabbing everything within reach.
Tom's garage is so cluttered with tools, spare parts, and old gadgets that you'd think he'd thrown in. As Sarah prepared for her move, she packed up, filling boxes with clothes, books, kitchenware, and even her collection of vintage vinyl records. The magician's act included pulling out a plethora of items from his hat: rabbits, flowers, and even a rubber chicken, but it seemed like he'd brought onto the stage. Jane couldn't contain her frustration and let out a stream of colorful language before catching herself and apologizing, saying, "I didn't mean to offend." When the car broke down for the third time that month, Sam unleashed a tirade of curses, followed by a hasty, as he realized others were within earshot. Despite her efforts to remain composed, Maria's patience wore thin as she vented her frustrations with a few choice words, promptly followed by, "I just can't believe this happened again." When the buffet opened at the company picnic, it was like as hungry employees rushed to load up their plates with burgers, hot dogs, and potato salad. During the annual clearance sale, bargain hunters swarmed the store like sharks eager to snatch up discounted items before they were gone. As soon as the referee blew the whistle to start the match, the players dove into the scrum determined to gain possession of the ball.
Field day.
Field day.
School. Field day.
Friday, field trip day. Da-da-da.
An enjoyable day or circumstance. The students had a field day exploring the outdoor science exhibits, conducting experiments, and learning about nature. Finding your feet.
They were finding their feet.
Well, she's still finding her feet.
Hit him till he finds his feet.
To become more comfortable in whatever you are doing. After moving to a new city, it took Sarah some time to adjust, but now she's finding her feet and making friends in a new neighborhood. Finger licking good.
Is finger looking good?
Finger looking good!
Oh, Colonel Doctor, that tie looks finger-licking good.
A very tasty food or meal. As soon as the aroma of Grandma's homemade fried chicken filled the kitchen, everyone knew it was going to be a finger-licking good meal.
When the company announced a surprise bonus, the employees had celebrating with laughter, cheers, and high-fives all around. With the sun shining and a gentle breeze blowing, the family had at the beach, building sandcastles, playing volleyball, and soaking up the sun. The journalists had uncovering scandalous details about the politicians' past, filling headlines with shocking revelations and sparking public outcry. Starting a new job can be daunting, but with a bit of time, Tom is gradually becoming more confident in his role. After a long hiatus from the music scene, the band is again reconnecting with fans and creating new music that resonates with audiences. Emily felt lost after her divorce, but with the support of friends and family, she's slowly rediscovering her independence. After a long hike, the campers gathered around the fire to enjoy a barbecue, savoring the tender ribs and smoky flavor. With its secret blend of spices and crispy coating, the restaurant's fried chicken is truly keeping customers coming back for more. The food truck's signature dish, loaded with savory pulled pork and tangy barbecue sauce, is undeniably earning rave reviews from hungry patrons.
Set in your ways.
Set in my ways.
grumpy, set in his ways.
But you have become incredibly stubborn and insensitive and set in your ways.
Not willing or wanting to change from your normal way of doing something. Despite numerous suggestions for improving his workflow, John remained fixed in his ways, insisting that his methods are the most efficient. Flash in the pan.
Want the flash in the pan?
Flash in the pan one.
Where the term flash in the pan comes from?
Something that shows potential at the beginning, but fails to deliver anything in the end. The new social media app seemed promising at first, but it turned out to be just a flash in the pan, losing popularity as quickly as it gained it. Flea market.
Flea market. A flea market? You went to a flea market?
We got it at a flea market.
A place where people gather to buy and sell inexpensive goods. Every Sunday morning, locals gather at the flea market to browse through vintage clothing, antiques, and handmade craft.
As they grew older, Sarah noticed that her grandparents became increasingly resistant to change and new technologies. Despite the advances in technology, some traditionalists remain, preferring pen and paper over digital tools. Even though the company was struggling to adapt to market changes, the CEO remained, refusing to consider alternative strategies. Many thought the rookie player's outstanding performance in his debut game was the start of a brilliant career, but unfortunately, it was just a. The Celebrity Chef's restaurant received rave reviews when it first opened, but it turned out to be closing its doors within a year due to poor management. The sudden spike in sales for the new gadget was impressive, but it proved to be as consumer interest waned shortly after its release. Sarah loves to hunt for unique treasures at where she often finds one-of-a-kind items at bargain prices. The is a bustling hub of activity, with vendors selling everything from furniture to fresh produce in a lively atmosphere. Tom decided to set up a stall at to sell his handmade jewelry, hoping to attract customers looking for something special.
Flesh and blood.
Flesh and blood.
Blood and flesh, Murray.
Flesh and blood.
Offspring or relatives, the human body or nature. Despite their differences, family is family, and nothing can change the bond between flesh and blood. Flea with the bird.
Flip them the bird!
Flip them the bird! What? Flip him the bird.
To raise your middle finger at someone. When the driver cut him off in traffic, John could not resist flipping the bird in frustration. Foam at the mouth.
Like you foam at the mouth?
He started foaming at the mouth.
Foaming at the mouth, ranting about
To be enraged and show it. He was foaming at the mouth when I came home, because I did not buy him a newspaper.
In times of need, it's comforting to know that you can rely on for support and understanding. When faced with adversity, the strength of our is often revealed, as they stand by us, through thick and thin. The family reunion was a heartwarming reminder of the ties that bind together, spanning generations and distance. The comedian joked about to his critics, emphasizing the importance of staying true to oneself. Feeling annoyed by the noisy neighbors, Sarah couldn't help but, when she saw them through the window. Instead of retaliating with harsh words, Tom simply smiled and discreetly to the rude customer who had been causing trouble. Whenever he lost a match, the coach would, screaming and shouting at his players in frustration. The politician's speech was so full of anger and vitriol that it seemed like he was with rage. As tensions rose during the heated argument, both parties began to, unable to control their emotions.
Fool's gold.
Fool's gold.
Pyrites. Fool's gold.
Iron sulfide, also known as fool's gold.
Something that you think will be very pleasant or successful, but it's not. Thinking they had struck it rich, the miners celebrating upon discovering what turned out to be fool's gold. A bitter disappointment. From rags to riches.
What about, from rags to riches?
With your rags to riches narrative.
Rags to riches also, they say.
To go from being very poor to being very wealthy. Against all odds, Maria went from rags to riches, starting her business in a small garage and eventually becoming a successful entrepreneur. Fuddy-duddy.
Don't be an old fuddy-duddy.
He actually said that. Fuddy-duddy.
Oh, don't be such a fuddy-duddy, Candy.
A person who has old-fashioned ideas and opinions. The old man was often dismissed as a fuddy-duddy by the younger generation who could not understand his traditional values and old-fashioned ways.
The get-rich-quick scheme promised easy money, but it turned out to be nothing more than leaving investors empty-handed. Sarah thought she found the perfect antique at the flea market, only to realize later that it was just not worth nearly as much as she had hoped. Despite the flashy promises and extravagant claims, the product turned out to be failing to deliver on its supposed benefits. The inspiring story of the self-made millionaire who went from has motivated countless people to pursue their dreams. Growing up in poverty, Tom never imagined he would go from, but through hard work and determination, he achieved financial success. The orphaned protagonist of the novel rises from overcoming adversity and achieving prosperity through sheer grit and resilience. Despite being labeled a by his colleagues, John preferred classic literature and jazz music to modern trends. Sarah's parents were seen as by her friends because they preferred quiet nights at home over loud parties. The professor's strict adherence to outdated teaching methods earned him a reputation as a among students who craved innovation and excitement in the classroom.
Thank you for watching the video. Bye bye.